Hi, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining today's session. So this is Javed. So I'm working as senior product specialist at Keka. So today's webinar will be a short and small session. So which is on the product updates that we got delivered in the month of July. So as people are yet to join, so we'll wait for a couple of more minutes, around 3 to 4 minutes. We'll wait for so that people will join. Okay. So until then, we'll keep the session on standby. So I'll try to attach the handouts under the attachment, like what would be the session about, like what are the features that we got in place. So till then, you can just have a glance on it. Thank you. For it. Thank you. So I think we are good to go. We are already have 50 plus attendees in today's session. So as you already know, so this Javed, I'm working as senior product specialist at Keka. So I would be dealing with the webinar sessions that would be being held every Thursday or Friday at 4 p.m. Right. So right. So in today's session, so we would be focusing more on the product updates that we got delivered in the July. Okay, so there are not more product updates uh, that got uh, that got delivered in this particular month of July. Okay, and we also have a reason for that because our team was mainly focusing on the architectural changes that were happening in the back end. Okay, so due to which we were not concentrating on this and not have enough bandwidth to work on the features, right? So without much delay, let me just quickly share my screen and we'll just go on with the flow, like what are the product updates that we have. Let me know like once you're able to view my screen. So right, so I think you are able to view my screen pretty much clearly. Can you just confirm if you are able to view my screen? Yeah, thank you. Right, so Sridhara, I think we were facing the couple of issues with the Keka server downtime issues because uh, there were some changes that were happening from our dev team in the backend for the architectural changes. Even we were updating the instances, so due to which we were facing some downtime issues in the UI, and now everything is fine and working perfect. Right, so coming back to the updates, so I'm just going to click on this. So we'll check on this module wise, like what are the module wise we have any updates. So no update in the leaf, not in API, not in performance, help desk, expense. Right, so coming to the expense, we have some updates here. So right, so there are only two major uh, things that we got in place. So earlier, so whenever you want to waive the past claims, okay, so we have not given the functionality for an user to waive it date wise filter. Okay, so only we used to give the search option. Okay, so now what we did, so we have given the filter of selecting the number of days as a custom range, or 30 days or 14 days or 7 days, to with his past claims, like what are the past claims has been raised by himself, or even the reporting manager can go to that employee profile and can view his past claims, or the admin as well. Right, so that was the one of the major updates so that we got in the expense. And one more interesting feature that we got in place is exit type and reason filters in the exit reports. Okay, so earlier whenever you click on the relieved employees, right, so you would be only to have, you used to have only three filters, which are like BU, department and location. So addition to that, so what we have did, so we have added two more fields, which are exit type and exit reason. Okay, so if you just want to filter list of candidates who has been relieved from your organization due to the performance issues. Okay, so if your organization asks for such reports, so you would be able to grab that, saying that on, let's assume if you want to grab it for performance issues, so I'll just go to that particular path. Just give me a minute. So we will even check with the expense one, like how we can view that past advance settlements. Okay, so you need to navigate to me, expense and travel. Okay, so there I have the date filter. Okay, so here I'm just checking it for the past 1 month, like what were the past claims raised by me. So if I just want to check it for more than a month, from July 1st to 30th. Okay, so these are my past claims that have been submitted. So earlier we didn't have the option to view it custom date range wise, so which we got in place now. Okay, so moving on, the next option which I was talking about is this added exit type and reasons filters in the exit reports. Okay, so now you just quickly navigate to relieved employees report. So where you would be able to find it under org dashboard, employee reports. Right, so there you would be having relieved employees report. Right, so here we have this relieved employees report. So if I just select all the business units, so earlier this used to be the report, like I would not be able to bifurcate like what was the exit reasons. If I just wanted for the resigned employees, okay, if the exit type is resigned, if I just want to filter for the resigned employees, I would not be able to do that because earlier we don't have these filters. Okay, so you used to download that report and do it in the Excel. Okay, so now what we did, so we brought you this filter, like if you just want to check the employees who resigned from your company and you just want to have a report of that, right? So you'll be able to get that report, right? So even in that, if you want to have the employees with resign type, and there if you want to select a particular reason for that as well. Okay, so resigned and exit reason as personal reasons. Okay, so you'll be able to get the category of that, right? So even you can download that report in Excel as you usually do for all the reports. So right, so that's one of the update that we got in place. So is my voice clear for everyone, or is it cracking as Ananya is saying? Oops. Thank you. Thanks for the confirmation. Ananya, can you just try rejoining the call, or you can just check with your internet as well? Yeah. So right. So coming back to the product updates, we'll just go for the next module. Or do we have any other updates? No, that's all for now. Right. So we are done with the expense. So moving on the Hiro module. Sorry. Right. So we were into the Hiro module, right? Okay, so we got this new Keka Hire dashboard. Okay, so we got it. So whoever the client has been using this module of Keka Hire, so you would be able to view this. Like we got this Keka Hire screens where you would be able to like how many application that you have and what is the how is the status of your recruitment funnel, how many sorts, how many are in the different hiring rounds. Okay, and candidate pipeline view, like for this particular day how many candidates you have been sourcing, what's the status, how many are under screening. So all these reports you would be able to view. Okay, so even you would be able to download it at an format as well, so we'll discuss more on that. So I'll just go to the Keka Hire module now. Okay, so whichever client is like have you have not opted to this Keka Hire module, I sincerely request you to opt it because you can streamline your hiring process as well. Just navigating to Keka. Right. So Monisha, so we are trying to get this Google Calendar and Google Meet integration as well in Hydro. So our team is currently working on it. So maybe by the end of this quarter or in the beginning of the next quarter, you'll be getting the feature in place. So we are already in the process of building the feature. So you may expect it very soon. Right. Mm. Okay, so right, so coming back to the dashboard that I was talking about, so this is how the dashboard looks like. So even it's like an user friendly as well. Like so, you would be able to view it. Like if you would just want it for the last 14 days, like what's the status, how are the candidates applying, how many from the Naukri, how many applied from the Papa Jobs and from different job posts, even from the direct offers or career portal. Okay, so we would be able to view. So that's for the applications from different sources. Okay, so moving on the next thing which is recruitment funnel. Okay, so in recruitment funnel you would be able to be like what are the candidate status and how many candidates are there in different status, right? So let's assume if you just want to understand how many are under the source, how many are under the screening, how many in interview, or how many under the pre-boarding. The pre-boarding in the sense like who completed all the rounds are under the verification stages. Okay, and how many candidates have been hired in the organization. Okay, so even this report you would be able to view for the last 30 days if you just want to view. So you can view it for the last 30 days as well. I'll just try to give a custom range because there is no change in that report. So I'll just give it for June 30. So right, so this is how we uh, automatically it gets changed as well. So as soon as you give the date range, it auto picks the values. Right. So that's about the recruitment funnel. Okay, so coming to the candidate pipeline movement view. So right, so even this is much interesting, I believe. So even you can download this report as PNG or JPG or PDF or SVG. Okay, so these are like the formats that you would be able to download. Okay, so even what happens is, so whenever you are in a meeting with your team, like if your team wants to understand like what's the status on what's the pipeline for your recruitment process and how is it happening in the last week. Okay, so you can just select it as last week. Sorry, so you can just select it as last week and you will be able to get the status. And even you can download it as JPG or PNG format, right? So I'll do what I'll do. So I'll just select it as last 30 days. Okay, so I'll do one thing. So I'll even select, right. So there is some change in the data, right? Okay, so on July 21st, only one candidate was hired and zero sourced, zero screening. Okay, on July 22nd, one hired. So this purple bar indicates only hiring. So if in case if I just don't want hiring, so pre-boarding stages, pre-boarding hiring candidates and hired candidates. If I just want to waive the source and screening, so even I would be able to waive that. Okay. So in case if I just want to waive the interview thing, so even I would be able to waive the interview status as well. Okay. So in case if I want to just waive the pre-boarding and hide states, so I would be able to view the stats of this pre-boarding and hide. I think this is very interesting report that we got in place. Great, great. Right. So in the next category, which is candidate archive reasons. Okay. So in case if you have different archive reasons, okay, so there may be candidate not unfit for this job or did not qualify or candidate not reachable. Okay. So there may be different categories or different archive reasons when the candidate gets rejected. All right. So we'll just try to filter some other data and check if we are able to grab some. Right. So here we are able to web, right? So candidate unreachable was 3 employees and not suitable were 2 employees. Okay, so you would be able to waive that, right? So coming to the active candidates in departments. Okay, so for every particular job post, there would be certain number of candidates who applied. Okay, so if you just want to view it department wise, for sales and support, how many are applying, for customer success, for training and development, for manager, for support, for management. So you'd be able to specify particular department wise graphs as well. Okay, so if you just want to have a filter for August 1st, okay, so you'll be able to do that. Right. So, okay, so application based on recruiters. Okay, so this would be a recruiter wise report. So if you just want to understand like what is the count of the recruiters that, okay, so how many candidates this recruiter is handling, if you just want to have a glance of it, so you will be able to view it under the applicants based on the recruiters report. Okay, so if you just want to view for the last 14 days, so this Himang is handling 3 candidates and CS admin is handling 7. Okay, so if I just want to check for the last 30 days, so we have one more recruiter with Shruti Demo. She has 2 recruiters, right? Sorry, 2 candidates. Okay, so time to hire in days. So what is the time slot that you need to hire the candidates and how many candidates are there in the pipeline? Okay, so you will be able to view it here. Like for product specialists, it's 407, and it differs. Okay, on departments. Even we have the scroll bar on the side. Okay, so That's about the dashboard that I was talking about, and we have few more dashboards. Okay, so which is interview dashboard. Okay, so in interview dashboard, oh sorry, so we'll just confirm if we are clear on this insights. So are we clear on this insights? Can we just move on to the interviews dashboard as well? Can you just confirm with an S? So if you're clear on the insights part, at least a single S would work. Yeah. Thank you, Sridhara. Right. So moving on the next tab, which is interviews. So in interviews tab, you would be able to be like what are the upcoming interviews, what are pending for feedback, and what is the new feedback that you have provided to the candidates. Okay, so this would be the dashboard that would be visible for the interviewers. Okay, so in case if you are scheduling any interview for the interviewers for your interview panel, okay, so whenever he logins to the Keka Hire module, like, okay, so this would be the interview dashboard for them, so they would be able to view like what are the upcoming interviews they have, and when is the date and time for that interviews, and what is the new feedback they have provided to the candidates, and if there is any feedback pending upon them, okay, which is yet to be provided, so they can just click on this give feedback. Okay, so they would be able to give the feedback. Right, so if you just want to view the what are the upcoming interviews, what are the planned interviews you have till date. Okay, so if you just want to web the interviews that you have on 19. Okay, so here I would be able to be like that there was an interview scheduled at 9 a.m. for the functional test. Okay, so I would be able to. Okay, so this is like a daily report, so as we have for the Microsoft or Google calendar, so similarly we have this Keka Hair calendar. Okay, so whatever the planned interviews you would be having, so it would be visible on this particular page. Right, so that's about this. So even if you want to give the all pending feedbacks that are waiting on you, so you would be able to give. So this is like all the pending feedbacks which are waiting upon you. Okay, so if you just want to give like all the feedbacks that you have provided, you would be able to give that all feedbacks as well. Okay, so if you just want to give like all previous interviews that you have scheduled and have you processed, you would be able to give that as well. Okay, so it's only for that particular interviewer. Okay, so they would be able to view. Right, so that's about the interview dashboard. So moving on the next dashboard, which is pre-boarding dashboard. Okay, so this about the pre-boarding dashboard that we are talking about. No, Swati. So this session will not be completely about the higher module. So we are just discussing on the product updates that we got in this recent times. Right. So coming to this pre-boarding dashboard. So what's the total applicants in this particular month which got placed? So total referrals, how many? Okay, total height, pending offer letter acceptance, or how many, okay, who are yet to accept their offer letter. Okay, so how many active jobs I have, I would be able to have all my active jobs here, how many of them are priority. Okay, so for how many candidates we need to create the offer letter, pending offers, accepted offers, rejected offers, like whoever the candidate rejects the offer would be falling under this bucket. And pending offers, either it can be pending from their end or our end. So on creating the offer letter, right, so you'll be able to view the complete report once you click on view all. Right, so this is about the complete pre-boarding stats that you would be able to view. Like if in case if you want to view the active jobs in your department. Okay, since I'm handling the support department, so since I don't have any active jobs in my department. Okay, so this would be the individual dashboard. Okay, so here it says welcome CS admin, current stats this one. Okay, so as we have the Keka updates in the Keka homepage, similarly we got this Keka hire dashboard as well, so which says Hiro updates. Okay, so whatever the Hiro updates that we are getting in place, so we are showcasing it on this particular page. Right, so I think we are done with the Hiro updates and the Keka hire dashboard. Okay, so we'll try to move on the next module. So no updates in the assets, no updates in the mobile, nothing core HR. Right, we do have in core HR. I think this we have already discussed. So which is on the past claims and all. Right, so no updates in timesheet, nothing in engage. So in attendance now. Okay. So right, so we have one interesting update in the payroll module. Okay, so right, so earlier, so what happens is, so whenever you want to have the employer exemption, okay, so earlier we used to exempt the complete amount, okay, so limited to 7,50,000. Okay, so earlier whenever, so I'll try to repeat it. So whenever we have this PF employer exemption, right, so earlier the complete amount used to get limited to 75,000. So the exemption was used to happen for the complete amount, limiting to 7,50,000. So now what we did, so we got this PF employer exemption to 12% on basic plus DNS allowance, right? So in case if you want to limit the PF exemption, PF employer exemption to 12% of basic plus DA, so you need to navigate to this particular path. I'll just try to navigate it. So you need to click on settings. So, right, so payroll, so the PF and ESS settings. So we got this option of limit PF exemption of 12 plus, so of 12% of basic plus DA. So, right, so earlier we used to exemption will be calculated as minimum of 12% of basic plus DA and 7,50,000 max exemption limit. Okay, so what happens next? So let's assume you have enabled this option. Okay, so after enable the setting in income tax, so you would be able to view the exemption of PF employer. Okay, so if you just view it under the PF employer share, so the exemption limit is we have set it as 7,50,000. Okay, so here you would be able to view 12% of basic plus DA. Okay, so whatever the basic plus DA is there, so it would be calculated by 12%. Right, so that's about the product updates that we have in payroll. And so right, so that's all about the product updates that we got to know about this in this particular month of July. Want to know more about the employee insurance? So right, so employee insurance, in case you are talking about this. So are you talking about this screen, which is employee introducing a KinCare smart cover? Yes, second case. So what you need to do is, so we are just like a third party applicant for this particular. So we are just showcasing like what's the second case smart covers will do. Okay, so you just need to click on get quotation. Okay, and you need to share your details to them, and they will be connecting with you shortly on this, and they will be discussing more on it. So right, so you need to register to them. So once you register to this Akin Care health policies, so they would be calling you as soon as they find out, right? So all these are the insurance and health benefits that would be covered in this Akin Care policies. So even we at Keka opted for this Akin Care smart cover. I think even we suggest you to get this. Okay, so here we have this. If you are able to retain and engage your talent starting at rupees 299 per employee. Okay, so all these Akin smart cover would be charging rupees 299 per employee per month. Okay, so once you click on get quotation, so they would be reaching out to you. Right, so since we are done with the product updates in the July month, so we'll have just 5 to 10 minutes quick sessions. Right. Emmanuel, so we don't have any updates for the asset parts as of now. So maybe we can expect it in the next month. So in the August month. Right. Thank you. So any other update that you want to have and glance on so that we can discuss more on it? So right. So coming to the next session. So we are planning to have a webinar session for the employee handbook. Okay, so there are many cases when any organization when any employee joins your organization, right? So employee is unable to identify like how to apply leave or how to log in his to his account, and what would be the process of checking his leave balance. Okay, so it's getting very difficult even for the management to help the employee or train the employee, or even the management is not finding enough time to train the employee, right? So what we are doing, so we are planning to have a webinar on that, so that you can share that webinar link to your employees, so whenever they are facing the login issues or any issues, they would be able to have this webinar link. So I think that would definitely work for most of the organizations, because even that would help to them. So Sumitra, so we have already done that on the investment declarations thing few weeks back. Please include accrual balance on leave. So I'll try to do one thing. I'll share you the webinar link so far that we have conducted. So we would be able to have the. Just give me 1 minute. One quick minute. Keka means. So right. So Aati shared you the link of the Keka HR YouTube channel. So where you would be able to view mm all the sessions recordings of this webinar, like what we are conducting from the beginning. Okay, so even that covers the asset module, Emmanuel. So you would be able to have that. Sridhara, so you want to have a leave balance detail in payslip. Hmm. So Sridhara, I can do one thing. So since it's a very unique requirement, like very few clients would be requesting for this. Okay, so we can do one thing. You can just drop an email on this to our support team, or you can just reach out to chat support. So to check the status of that requirement, so they'll update you. Right, Rashmi, understand. I understand. So Pramod, so we already have that in the link that Aarti has shared. So there you would be able to have the webinars sessions of all the modules. There we have for Keka integration, payroll, uh, 6 steps. Then we have for the letter and documents, for leave management, and we have for the attendance. Then for the complete core HR, then we have expense assets, travel management, help desk, shift rotations, exit management. So we have it everything in that particular page. Hindi payslips would take some time, so it's not in the roadmap, Rashmi. So apart from the feature request, so do we have any specific module that you're looking after so we can come up for the webinar? Okay, Pramod, that's great. Right. So Kumar, the customer, so the badges that you're looking is of like the basic version. So we are coming with the second version of the badges and also it will take some time. So as soon as we get that badges in enhancement, so you'll be able to do the customizations as well. Mm. So right. So next week we are planning to do the employee handbook webinar session. So you can just attend the session and you can share that uh, to your new joinees as well, or the HR admins who are joining your organization recently, so that they would be getting a glance on it. Right. So that's bring up to the end of the session for today. So we'll try to again plan for a wonderful session coming the next week. So till then, stay home, stay safe, take care, everyone. Bye bye. Thank you.